Hey YouTube. I'm sorry about not being online for a while. I've moved and I've did a few videos since I've moved, but even then it's been really extremely hard because of work and everything. I'm hoping to start getting more regular on my videos. Now this isn't going to be one of my regular videos, and hopefully this time I get to get through the video because my computer keeps on messing up. Um, this video is never going to be my regular. So don't be afraid, don't be scared off by it. It's not going to be, it's not like any of the videos I've done. This is me ranting, and it's a rant I feel I really need to do, and I have my reasons to want to do this rant. And I think it's a subject that needs to be talked on, and needs to be talked on towards both sides and against both sides of this. Because I think both sides are just getting it wrong. I think both sides are really, I don't know, skewing the topic in their favor. Now, understand, this is my opinion. I'm not reflecting anyone else's opinion. I'm not even fact checking. I'm not going to spout facts. I'm not going to spout anything like that. I'm just going to spout self-experience, experience of others I know. So, before you tear apart my video, understand that this is from my experience, okay? And the other thing about this video, and here's the big thing, I'm not going to turn off comments, I'm not going to turn off ratings. So I think both of those are very important on the subject, and I think the one video, the tropes versus women, this one things they got wrong because they didn't allow for a rebuttal, especially in facts. Yeah, I know, I've heard stories why she turned off the comment, but she didn't have to turn off ratings, or unless we have to turn both off. I'm not sure actually. So I'd never turn off my comments because I read my comments. I really do. Um. Well. So, anyways, obviously the topic of today is feminism, or internet feminism, and I've been watching a lot. I'm a member of a number of gaming communities online. One of them is MTGS or MT. Yeah, can't speak today. Mind you, this is not scripted, so I have no idea what I'm saying. Um. Well, I have an idea, but you know what I mean. One of them is MTG Salvation. And that actually kind of led to this a little bit. And this has been boiling for a while because I'm watching the feminists versus the anti-feminists online. So a lot of issues are getting ignored. And I think this is where my problem with it all is we're ignoring certain aspects. One of which I want to talk about is over masculinization. Now, over masculinization. Let me define what I mean by that because it might have a more proper term. It's just why I call it. Over masculinization is the Alright, we'll use my roommate for example. He's a great example of this because he kind of grew up with this. His father loves him to death, which is fine. Um, his father's played wrestling or did wrestling in high school, and one of the things is his father views only real men play sports, or real men don't play sports. And be that his son he did wrestling because of this. Took on a real man's job and all that stuff. It kind of messed him up a little bit. I mean, my roommate's great. Don't get me wrong. If you're watching this, I'm sorry about mentioning anything. Don't hate me. Anyways, another example is before I came out. If you don't know I'm trans woman, hopefully you're able to tell. Well, hopefully you weren't, but um, before I came out as trans, you know, one of the hardest things was what man was expected to be. What were you expected to be as a man? And this is going to be a lengthy rant, just warning you at this point. Um, and this hit me in many ways. I have an Armenian uncle, for instance, who, my aunt, who, that's how I'm related to him, is my aunt's my blood relative. My uncle married her. Loving relationship. They love each other. You can tell, even with the squabbling. But she doesn't want a kid now. If you're not familiar, at least older Armenian culture, the oldest son took over the business. And, when his father died, he was a teacher at Purdue, and when his father died, he took over the family business and stopped teaching. And so, him not having a son, His brother's never going to have fun. I'm sorry. I'm going to insult everyone I know and love today. No, just joking. But his brothers and him are older guys right now. Um, they they were looking at me to take over. I didn't want to do wrestling all my life. Um, and I didn't think I was skilled enough or as skilled as them. And there's a bunch of stuff in it that made I just didn't want to do it. And it offended him. And it's why one of the reasons why we're not on speaking terms right now. Which I love my uncle. I think he's a great guy. I mean, just I couldn't take over the family business at all. You know, it wasn't my lot in life. It really wasn't. It wasn't even my area. I wanted to be able to move. I mean, shoot, if you've been following me at all, if you know me at all, my dream is gaming, to do board games. I know every gamer says that. But, I mean, with me, it takes it to another level that's different than that, you know, and I'm glad that I haven't seen a lot of hatred towards me about that. But I digress. I'm getting off track here. You're talking about feminism versus, well, not feminism. Um, when you get into the masculinization, not only like family business traditions and stuff, or sports families, or in my case, you're a man, you gotta be stronger, you gotta be able to take care of the woman, you gotta do this to be a man. And men don't argue it that much, but if you stray from that, oh my god, you're gay, you know, or oh my god, there's something wrong, you're different, I'm trans, you know, it took me until I was 29 to come out. I knew I was different since I was 7. I knew that those rudimental things to say I'm a man just felt wrong. I'm not saying gender roles, gender role is something everyone needs to fight, actually. I'm saying like biologically, everything, But I knew I was different, and gender roles, masculine gender roles actually made me afraid of that. Made me hide it for years. And I guess that's what's disturbing me about the whole feminist movement thing, like modern feminist movement. I'm all about equal rights, and I'm about pure equal rights. Men and women, and trans, and everyone in between, like the whole spectrum, should be equal. We should have no difference. Any religion. I mean, that's what our Constitution says, is that all men are created equal. All people are created equal. Be it religion, be it gender, be it anything. We are built on the foundation that we have innate rights, and we are created equal. And which is true, you know, classes and all that stuff. These are big problems, And those of you who don't know me personally, I face a lot of diversity in my world. I say that like that. I should say where I'm at. But honestly, would I change who I am? No. I'm a trans woman. I'm Buddhist. I'm happy with that. So when someone tries to come in, and I get this all the time. Honestly, I get less heat for being trans than I do being Buddhist, which is hilarious because, especially the version of Buddhism I follow, it's all about accepting life and accepting everyone for who they are. And so people come up with me, and I swear at work, I hear this constantly. I don't even announce I'm Buddhist. They could just kind of sense it. Is, oh, you need to go to my Bible study. It's like, what? Well, do you believe in God? Yeah, in a way. Do you believe in Jesus? I'd rather not tell you right now. And people bring this up all the time to work. And see, that goes back to what I was saying about masculinization, feminism, all that. It's equality. And I guess that's how I got on that tangent. This is actually my worst tangent again. Sorry to get me off, so I'll get off it right now. But it's equality, you know. And a lot of the feminist kind of things say, we're not selling equality. Here, I'll give you an example. Alright, this is one that was brought up in Salvation. It's a character from Magic the Gathering called Liliana Vess. Liliana Vess, okay? Yes, yes, we see boobs, legs, sexual clothing. Here's the thing. Liliana Vess covers a very traditional archetype. It's one of my favorite archetypes from Arthurian legend. And if I turn my thing around right quick and show you my bookshelf, you would see I actually have a lot of Arthurian legend stuff. I love Arthurian stories. You know, I love Arthurian fantasy. I love fantasy period. You know, Arthurian, Tolkien, Swords and Sorcery. And I'll get to that in a second. Actually, Swords and Sorcery has a big subject here. But Liliana Vess actually covers one of my favorite tropes, the Enchantress. And here's the thing about the Enchantress. The Enchantress and tropes are seductresses. They get what they want by sometimes magic, but a lot of times controlling their image, controlling their, you know, a wink, a smile, and a hair flick, you know? And that's what the character represents. And, you know, if you're not familiar with Magic the Gathering, Liliana Vess one was called Planeswalker, and Planeswalkers were these omnipotent beings almost, or not omnipotent. They're these very powerful beings, and at one point in the story, they got really deep power. At one point, they were, you know, eternal, you know, they lived forever, and when this was lost, Liliana lost a portion of her power, and also start aging. Being the whole Enchantress trope, her looks were something that was kind of her bread and butter. So, you know, she made a deal with three different demons. She's actually hunting down the demons in the storyline. And someone's joking around, well, was one of the deals, you know, enhanced breast? And yes, you know, she said she wanted to look one of the deals was to look at the peak of human physical nature, you know. So using that as an example, that's one of the big things people argue against because, oh, Liliana's supporting anti-feminist ways. No, Liliana's continuing the same trope Morgana Le Fay was. You know, same trope many enchanters in stories are. They're enchantresses. And yes, there are opposites to this. I mean, look at Mordred. No, yeah, the or the Green Knight or the Red Knight. Red Knight. There we go. Great example. Red Knight. That's a little anecdotal there because that was like a one-time thing. But you know, Mordred. We'll go with Mordred. In the same things people are complaining about these overly sexualized women, men hit one of three tropes. One of three characteristics. Okay, the militant, or one of four. The militant, the um, militant, the beefcake, the overly effeminate man. I'm looking at you, Cloud Strife, and I'm not thinking the traitor, the Benedict Arnold, if you would. And of course, if you know the story of King Arthur, Mordred's the one who betrayed Camelot and Knights of the Round Table, and all bad broke, everything bad broke loose because of him. But he did for power. Going to Swords and Sorcery. This is one that completely rouses feminism, which is God's reasons to. I mean, Swords and Sorcery is the origin of the chainmail bikini. If you're not familiar with what the chainmail bikini is, you've been living under a rock. Chainmail bikinis, like trying to think of a modern video game with it because I don't honestly play many video games like this. Wow, I really can't think of a modern one. Chainmail bikini, well, Golden Axe, if you're familiar with Golden Axe, or anything along those lines where fancy saying the girls wear something reminiscent, but maybe sometimes usually a little skimpier than Leia's slave outfit from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. You know, and for some reason it gives them this great armor bonus, you know. Well, that and a little bit of subjectifying women on the covers really got a lot of heat in Swords and Sorcery style writing, and it's starting to become a little dead art because of that. But going all the way back to what I consider to be its core origins of Swords and Sorcery, Robert E. Howard's books, um, well, by Robert E. Howard, I'm talking about the Conan series. You look at, yeah, over-sexualized woman, but have you ever actually looked at pictures of Conan? We're talking about super muscular man who's supposed to be this manly man who tends to wear little more than a loincloth, maybe a cape sometimes. There's some versions with a vest, but he's never wearing full pants. Well, maybe once or twice wearing full pants, but never wearing full outfit or full clothing. And he's, in D&D terms, he's one of the few heroes, actual heroes, I would consider a chaotic evil hero. I mean, getting drunk, bar fighting, okay, yeah, anyone could do that. But getting drunk, bar fighting, killing, raping, I mean, this is all things a male does in Sword Sorcery, and there's scum. If you're mage, you're sneaky, undermining, you're like Jafar from Aladdin, but more emphasis on the demonic magic and stuff. So yeah, there was the general objectifying of women, but then there was the vilifying of men. And this is what I'm getting to. I think this is what subject I'm trying to say, and this is what's going to get me the most heat, is because on one hand, you have the objectifying of woman, but the same thing that's objectifying the woman is giving you the villainization of man. And these aren't stories, these aren't books, fantasy. I mean, really, these are the same thing. You get the violent man, or the man who's solving with violence. I'm not even going to use video games as an example, because I've said on many videos, they get a whole 30 seconds most. Most times 7 seconds to explain the story. So the damsel in distress trope is actually the easiest way to get young boys that stores are targeted to into the game quickly. Now, we're talking about older video games here, not newer ones. Or Mario, but Mario's for the sake of nostalgia. And one of the videos, the Trope vs. Woman video I referred to, actually brought up Amy Rose from Sonic CD. Now, if you're familiar with Amy Rose, I gotta give it to Sonic for saving her. Big Sonic fan. Love the comics. I love the video games. I love the TV series. Like, I've seen them all. Amy Rose, for you non-hardcore Sonic fans, is Sonic Stalker. I'm not joking. There's one point where she actually ages herself so she could steal Sonic from Princess Sally. Actual storyline, because she's so obsessed with Sonic. The fact that he could take this obsessive stalker, I mean, and if you're familiar with the series, Princess Sally is no submissive woman. I mean, she is a hero. She's the leader of the rebellion. I mean, she's Princess Sally. One of the greatest female characters in comic books, in my opinion. Um, I'm a big Amy Rose fan too, to be honest. Um, Especially after she stopped chasing Sonic, kind of. I'm not sure if she's still not chasing Sonic anymore. It's been a while since I've actually read Sonic. I've got more obsessed with my Mega Man issues, but Sally was a very good, strong female role where she was a strong woman, and Sonic, was in love with Sally. It actually gets really confusing as you're reaching the universe branch off the comics. But Amy was obsessed with Sonic, and Amy would be very assertive about this, and even try to sabotage his relationship stuff. But when she gets kidnapped, Sonic still saves her. You know, when the day needs saving, when Amy's there, Sonic does help her, and which is he still holds a friendship with her. Actually, I don't think she was objectified at all. Again, 8-bit, 32-bit, whatever games before we started going full 3D had very limited resources to explain the story. Um, but that was one of the issues brought up. Another one was Princess Peach. That's a whole Freudian case there, in my opinion. And Matt Pat, Game Theory, did a great, great, great coverage of what's wrong with Princess Peach, and they brought up Zelda. Now, here's where my problems with Zelda. Link could never finish his quest without Zelda, without the help Zelda gives, without the power. Yeah, the left-hand swordsman, Link, he he's one doing all the adventure, and Zelda gets captured all the time in the game, especially when she's showing a feminine face. But sorry, my mind's drawing a blank. What I was going to say, I actually had thought this part out. She has the Triforce of Wisdom. Now, again, I'm presuming everyone knows everything, so I'm going to presume everyone knows nothing. Explains in Legend of Zelda, there's three parts of the Triforce, and three particular heroes keep on reemerging in the timeline. Link keeps on getting reincarnated, Zelda keeps on getting reincarnated, and Ganon is Ganon from the beginning. And those are the Triforce of Wisdom, Triforce of Courage, and Triforce of Power. Ganon has power, Link has courage, and Zelda has wisdom. And these are all their three greatest strengths. Um, Zelda always gets herself in good tactical position to help Link, being captured and whatnot, but not always planned, but she always is the reason Link can get through the quest. And I love Twilight Princess. Actually, it was my favorite Legend of Zelda. Partially because the Zelda Link love homage wasn't there. You know, Link had the other woman, I guess, Leah. I love Leah as a love interest. And, there was another person who fell in love. I'm not going to spoil if you haven't played Twilight Princess. Because the ending made me cry. I won't lie. Um, but Zelda being captured, Leah being captured, actually, all that stuff. Zelda being possessed. Sorry, spoiler. Um, but in the whole thing, it was still. I always read Zelda as strong, you know? Even being captive, she was strong. It's actually one of the women I looked up to, fictional wife and a fictional woman. I mean, you can look back there on my wall, and before I get too far, yeah, I got posters up on my wall of actual comic book role models of mine, I guess you could say, females from comic books I really look up to. She-Hulk, Elektra, and X-23. And it's symbols of strength, but it's not the. Because I want to say it's not feminist, but it's symbol of strength. If you've never read She-Hulk, um, she takes a little getting used to read. I love She-Hulk. I love She-Hulk comics. I have a lot of the original ones. I have a lot of the new ones, or newer. I haven't read any She-Hulk post Dark Reign. Actually, I didn't read any during Dark Reign. Um, she's attractive and she knows it. That's one of the big things about She-Hulk. She does play people's emotions. She plays her role. Um, she is strong, very strong. I mean, she's muscular. I mean, and she's a good teacher. But she's been a lawyer. She's been a member of Shield. She's been an Avenger. She's had her Lady Liberties, or she was part of Lady Liberties, which was a great team for the time. Her Valkyrie, was it her Valkyrie, and I can't even think of the other two right now. Thundra, I think was one of them. Yeah, Thundra was one of them. That's actually why I started ringing Lady Liberties, because I'm a Thundra fan too. Um, but I always took her strength. Yeah, she had the sexy body and stuff, but again, that's was to her. Electra, Electra was the beauty, she was strong. No, I did not watch the movie. I refuse to watch the movie. I've heard about enough of it. I'm not going to watch that movie. But again, was a strong person, you know, who generally is pictured as a very attractive woman in very sexual outfits. But if you look at the character, she's maternal, in her own right. She's smart, she's intelligent, she's agile, she's strong, but her intelligence is what gets the best, or works best for her. No, and then we'll go into my favorite X-23. I'm a huge Laura fan. Not just because of Capcom vs. Marvel or Capcom vs. Marvel 3. I like Squeed. When I actually watched the first trailer that showed X-23, I'm like, no, yes, yeah. I'm not a big Wolverine fan anymore. I used to be way back when I was a kid, but I'm not a big Wolverine fan. But I still love X-23. I mean, I love even her first appearance. If you have not read her first appearance, she starts out really sad. Starts out as a prostitute, actually, and another character named Nyx. Just happens in Nyx's storylines, like the first 4 issues or something like that. It's like issue 3 or 4, maybe 2. But anyways, Nyx comes across her. Nyx is a runaway superhero. Like, she's a runaway, not a superhero team, which I don't think of runaways. We won't go into that. She's a runaway who had a drug issue and whose father was a cop, and her father dies, and her powers kind of awaken. She can disappear into time. You know, she can live in between seconds. Like, in a matter of like 5 seconds, she lived 5 years, and might have been less than that. It was at least a year. And the thing that made her really cool was she was friendly to everyone. It comes across Laura and takes her on, saves her. And Laura eventually becomes ever as bit strong-willed as her father, or she's actually cloned, but Wolverine did adopt her, and it gets confusing, almost as confusing as Dad can, but it is just another strong female role model for me to look up to, and being raised under the maternal eye, I guess you could say, or not maternal, paternal eye. I I guess video games and comics are really where I picked up looked for strong women, you know. And so when I see these things about feminism, saying, "Oh, hey, these are horrible. This person's horrible. There's no strong female characters in popular games." That Tropes vs. Woman actually did say that. That there was no strong woman in popular games. It's like, where the heck's Metroid? You know, Metroid, Samus Aran, another hero, like female symbol of mine, was a strong, powerful woman. I haven't played the other end, and I do know they kind of butchered the character a little bit. I've been warned because people know how much of a Metroid fan I am, you know. And here you got the strong woman who, actually, if you really look at the ending of Super Metroid, actually even has some maternal instincts to her, but wasn't feminism, wasn't masculizing female. It was just a strong character, well written character. Or I'm a big fan of Yuna. Yuna from Final Fantasy X, 10-2, I love 10-2, don't get me wrong. But that was a little bit of overly kawaii. Or trying to think of some other, because I actually had the list. I was like, oh, I got this list, I can tell it's. And then I get in front of the camera, I'm like, I have no script. I just got from work. Like, literally, when I started recording this, I hadn't been home more than like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Trying to think. Sorry, I'm looking all around the room saying what was I supposed to talk about. Oh, even comic books, as I said, mention the ones behind me. But there's a character, Sheething. Now, if you're not familiar with late 80s, early 90s comics, most of them suck. One of the really, really marvelous ones I loved. I love this comic book series to death. Trying to get all 36 issues was Thing. He was my favorite Fantastic Four member. Thing was, and I just loved his comics. They introduced a character about halfway through the series called Sheething. Well, she starts off as a ripoff of Miss Marvel, which Miss Marvel is another great character. A lot of character development in her, except a few That's if you ignore issue 200 of Avengers. That's one feminists should pick apart because she had a baby in less than a week. It grew to adulthood. It was through psychic rape, and none of the Avengers did anything about it. They were all just amazed that this baby just magically appeared, other than through rape. And the writer who picked her up afterwards did a great job making her dive into alcoholism, making her regret being an Avenger even at one point. And Miss Marvel really is in depth on it. But, it's back to what I was saying. You have this other character, Miss Marvel, who eventually becomes She-Thing. She wants to get so far ahead, and she's so obsessed with being better than males. She ends up mutating herself into something like the Thing. And the greatest part is she accepts it about herself. And that's what I love about her. She takes this horrible thing that things views as a curse. Now, eventually they later reverse this in her personality, but they take this thing that the thing views as a curse. Just like this is a blessing. There's an issue where after a fight with She-Hulk, they become good buds, and She-Hulk takes her under her wing. It's like this is a blessing. I was selfish. I was completely and utterly selfish, and now I can accept myself for who I am. This has humbled me. And I think that's one of the things people need to look at is, I guess, right there. That's the epitome of my subject. It's right there. Take the good, you take the bad. Everything that happens to you in life. Feminist, misogynist, whatever. We all just need to be humbled. We all need to be able to look at ourselves beyond our skin deep. Who are we inside? And I guess, you know, this may seem weird to some of you watching this video, with me being trans and me trying to actively become a woman. It's like, well, why don't you accept yourself for who you are? I am. I am. I'm trans. I'm a woman inside. I'm a woman mentally, and I will become a woman eventually one day. Physically. That's me wanting my body and my brain to meet up. That is me embracing myself, but we need to understand a few things about ourselves, and this is where it's going to get really deep here. And I mean deep as in like in depth, not deep as in waiting to prove. We need to accept who we are as a person, as a race, as a group. You know, especially living in America. I mean, look at us. We we're the free country. We're the free world. Yet we can't get along with each other. We can't accept. As I said, I'm Buddhist. I get a lot of heat from that because I'm not Christian. I get a lot of Christian views, even on the everyday. You know, I'm trans. Okay, yeah, big deal. Well, trans is against the Bible. Well, I don't go by the Bible. I'm very fluid on my attraction. If I'm attracted to someone, I'm attracted to them. I'm not going to hit on them if they're not wanting to hit on. And this is something who I'm attracted to is both a man and woman. And that's the thing, and that goes into masculinity versus femininity too. Attracted to muscles. I like muscular men, I like muscular women. And here's the thing about it. Muscularity, when you have a muscular woman, a lot of men just write them off as unattractive, It's like, okay, so what? She got biceps. That could be sexy. And I know my argument's probably not going home much ground right now, but I'm just using this as a big example because it's true. Trust me, I'm looking at this view as me being the bridge in between. That sounds so narcissistic of me. But if you think about it, I am the bridge in between. I was raised with masculinization. I was raised a man has to be a man, has to be a man. Here's why. I live my life in the shoes of a woman. Very, very fabulous shoes, by the way. I love my punky pink shoes of awesomeness. But sorry. But I do see the hardships there too, and then on the third note, I'm trans, so I have inherent hardships that not only should you be thankful you never have to go through, but I wouldn't wish on any of you. You know, I have to go through things every day that some of you think it's trivial. Like I got coworkers who I work with mostly women. I got coworkers who will sit there and say, well, why do you spend so much time on your makeup? So because one, I haven't had electrolysis yet, so this grows before the end of my shift, so I have to cover up. And two, no surgery here yet, no surgery up here. I have to cover that. I have to shape it because honestly, that brings up questions I don't even want to deal with. Plus, more feminine I look, the more feminine I feel. Honestly, the happier I am. But that's me. So those are issues that not everyone's ever going to have to face. Yeah, women have to look pretty. Yeah, men have to look masculine. Look at the other shoe sometimes. Both of you, both men and women. I'm talking to both groups here. And I guess I should have made that very apparent in the beginning. You gotta look at through both views. I mean, you people who are saying, "Oh, video games objectify men," or women. I mean, sorry, they do objectify men too, just in a different way. Men don't complain about either because, oh, Kratos, he's such a badass, you know. Or Master Chief, he's such a badass. Even one of my favorite characters, Marcus Phoenix. Get this, Marcus Phoenix. If you've never played Gears of War, I'd suggest it. I love Gears of War. But Marcus Phoenix is stern. He's a warrior. He's strong. He is a man's man. His voice actor is a man's man. I'm not joking, which is cool. I like his voice acting. He's one of my favorite voice actors. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, he's a great example. I mean, Anya from that game was actually kind of a strong character, and two had some of my favorite heart touching moments. I actually haven't played three yet, but was it two? Might have been two. It was either two or one or two that she had the moment I'm thinking of. Helicopter, she thinks he dies, but no example of a man. The society gives us a man. Master Chief, he's the man's man. Snake, Solid Snake. You know, can't get enough of how much to complain about that. The Lethal Weapon series. I mean, or not Lethal Weapons. I'm thinking Die Hard. Don't know where Lethal Weapons came from, but Die Hard series. Some of these are out of date. Like the whole Duke Nukem thing being out of date. But if you're not that man in media, you're the Cloud Stripes, the Sephiroth, the um. I guess what I'm trying to get to, the Tituses, the Titus, however it's supposed to be pronounced, the Cecils, the King Highwinds. Yeah, I'm naming a lot of Final Fantasy here because Final Fantasy is the biggest, why I consider the biggest criminal here for the effeminate man. Um, but outside that, even anime, comic books, like if you're not the manly man, you're the womanly man. Um, they don't like that in between ground, or you're a complete scoundrel. You know, like the Han Solos of the world, you know, blue collar, or scoundrel or whatnot, or you're the traitor, as I said, or you're, you know, I'd say militant, but militant goes back man's man. You know, so we have this views of the man, we have this views of the woman, you know, the woman are a certain way. But here's the thing, most media, like 99.99% of media, isn't as objectifying as you think. I dare you all, I really do dare you all, if you want to look at objectifying women in media, pick up some classic noir. I'm a noir fan, but noir, thank God, is a dead art form. You know, being a fan of noir, I'm thankful noir is a dead art form because a few of the pillars of noir, the few of the reasons to give it style is racism, objectifying women, you know, and our LA Noir was a great game, and it amazed me because I played through it. I'm not counting Heavy Rain as a true noir. Actually, Heavy Rain is more of a thriller than anything. Um, LA Noir, when you play through it, is noir. They even keep the racial slurs in. The, you know, the stereotypes that appeared in noir. The woman stuff, which it was an homage, you know? It wasn't trying to be like, oh, this is how things should be. It was taking place in, what, 1930s or 1940s in Los Angeles. It was noir, and it was well done. In fact, I don't think I ever seen any of the color in that game because I played it in black and white mode the whole time because it's noir. Um, but you want to see objectifying women, look at noir, you know? And but still, that goes back to everything. Or another favorite, I watch a lot of old TV shows, so Flash Gordon, and this made me laugh so bad because there was a incident where a couple of anime voice actors at a convention I was at actually redubbed an episode of Flash Gordon live just as a joke. You know, it was a panel where they were just showing, you know, how voice acting happens. They did to a Flash Gordon episode. We're talking about original Flash, and you want to talk about objectifying woman. Um, there's actually a line in there where they laugh at the woman, like, "Oh, don't worry, we don't blame you. You're just a woman." You know, so they're saying, yeah, this scantily clad woman who is powerful, or the not so scantily clad woman who gets captured, or you know, so on and so forth, or the super kawaii girl, you know, super cute girl, you know. But that's the thing. These are archetypes, character archetypes in story writing. And we as a society, instead of needing to blame one side or the other, stop blaming video games for being, oh, hey, this is sexual. We need to look at why, you know? And beyond that, we need to look at why is it so popular, you know? Why are men looking at, you know, big-titted women who are, if you're wondering why I'm staring at this whole time, I keep on looking down at this cover of an old Dragon magazine number 267 that's got this drow on it. I don't know why the drow's just kind of propelling my subject forward. Oh, here. Speaking of, you know, sexualization stuff, if you're not into D&D, that is a very scary picture because the drow women are extremely powerful, will kill men, kill women, will kill anything, and kind of scary. I mean, they have a drow will literally drow females will sexually abuse um prisoners to death, or slaves to death. So yeah, so I'm looking at this like, wow, that's kind of scary. Um, yeah, that's vilifying them. But you know, that's the thing. Both sides of the spectrum has vilifying. Both sides of the spectrum has um exalting. And I think the whole reason why is historically men have had more rights, and have had an easier time through history. But in the end, modern times, I think that's why women look at some of the stuff a little quicker. But in the end, men get it really bad too. And I keep on sounding like, oh, I'm females, I'm females. But honestly, both sides need to look at it. Because, yeah, there's sexualization of women. There's objectifying of women. And half this is done by women. Oh, don't even get me started. Uh, don't get me started. Anyways, don't even get me started on the tabloids and all that stuff. It irks me, our obsession with celebrities. I look at this. We got all this problem in our life. We have all this horribly, horribly wrong stuff in our life. And I just look at this as like, we're obsessed with who? No, we're obsessed with Kim Kardashian, Kanye West's baby. Yeah, I'll never meet any of those people. I'll never have seen sway in their life. And honestly, I could give two cares less about them because I think they're both bad people. I think they're both part of what's wrong with the society. I think they're both why men have to be viewed as men and women has to be viewed as women. Oh, and that, sorry, this is actually ranting. Um, that is another thing I had wrong with some of these videos. A couple of them point out, oh hey, if a woman wants to be a hero, they got to disguise themselves as a man, and then use Disney's Mulan. All right. Now here's the thing about Mulan. Here's why it ticks me off. Mulan is one of my favorite stories of all times. I love the hymn of Mulan. If you've never read it, just wiki Mulan. They actually have that up on the wiki. Give me a second. I'm going to actually search for it right quick. I might even just read it for you all. Because Mulan is a very old Chinese story. So when they're using this, like, oh hey, this is partially what's wrong. Well, here's the thing, okay? The the oldest we can date Mulan back is actually the Wei Empire, which the Wei Empire. Let me give you the exact year of the Wei Empire. Um, sorry, it's not giving me the actual age. I might be calling it wrong. You're looking 220 to 265, so AD. So this is an older story, quite older story, older Chinese story. So here's the thing. I'm actually going to read you this. This is the Ballad of Mulan, okay? The sound of one sigh after another as Mulan weaves through the doorway. No sound of the loom and shuttle. Only the girl that lamented. Ask her of whom she thinks. Ask her of whom she longs. There's no one I think of, and there's no one I long for. Last night I saw the army notes. The Khan is calling a great draft. A dozen volumes of battle rolls, each one with my father's name. My father has no grown-up son, and I have no elder brother. I am willing to buy a horse and saddle and to go to battle in my father's place. She buys a fine steed at the East Market, a saddle blanket at the West Market, a bridle at the South Market, and a long whip at the North Market. She takes her leave of her parents at dawn, to camp beside the Yellow River at dusk. No sound of her parents hailing their girl, just the rumbling waters of the Yellow River. She leaves the Yellow River at dawn, to reach the Black Mountains at dusk. No sounds of her parents hailing their girl, just the cries of the barbarian cavalry in the Yarn Hills. 10,000 miles she rode to war, crossing paths and mountains as if on a wing. On the northern air comes the sentry song. Cold light shines on her coat of steel. The general dead after 100 battles. The warriors return after 10 years. They return to see the Son of Heaven, who sit in their brilliance. The rolls of merit spin a dozen times, rewards in the hundreds of thousands. The Khan asks her what she desires. I've no need for the post of gentlemen officials. I asked to borrow a camel, fleet of foot, to carry me back to my hometown. Her parents, hearing their girl return, out to the suburbs to welcome her back. Elder sister, hearing her sister returns, adjusts her rouge by the doorway. Little brother, hearing her sister or his sister's return, sharpens the knife for pigs and lamb. I open my east chamber door and I sit on my west chamber bed. I take my battle cloak and put on my old-time clothes. I adjust my wispy hair at the windowsill and apply my bisque makeup by the mirror. I step out, see my comrades in the arm. They are all surprised and astounded. We traveled 12 years together, yet didn't realize Mulan was a lady. The male rabbit is swifter of foot. The eyes of the female are somewhat smaller. But when the two rabbits run side by side, how can you tell the male from the female? And, alright, so reading that, yeah, my camera froze for a moment, I'm sorry. Hopefully you get the whole sound of that. Reading that, that brings up my point exactly. And that's why it disturbs me when people show this video. I know it's the Disney 5 version, and the Disney 5 version, wow. You know, I love it, but to the original story, you know, you read that and it's like, it's my point to a T. It's when the two rabbits run together, you can't tell the difference, which is what it is. We are male, we are female, we are human. Let's freaking act like it. Let's freaking act human. You know? Stop complaining because some guy likes looking at boobies. No. I know for a fact that women check out men. I know for a fact that, you know, my mall, where I work, you know, the joints I work at is in a mall. And they have down the hallway at least once a month at the bar in the mall. Chippendale performances. You know, they get Chippendale in. So don't tell me that men are the only guilty ones here. I'm not even going to touch on the rape facts because rape is horrible and something does need to be done to fix that. But complaining about how media views women is not going to do it. You know, I guess it's still a tangent, but you know, another good character in stories is Dao Chan. If you're familiar with God, I want to say the wrong book here. Romancing Three Kingdoms. Yeah, it's the right book. Um, Dao Chan's another. The funny thing is, I'm taking this from Chinese or Chinese stories. These very strong feminine roles, and if you don't know the origin of Buddhism, even one of the things that made Buddhism popular in India when it first started was roles were equal, and this made popular not just in women but in men also. Um, in the original form of Buddhism and a lot of the other forms of Buddhism, men and women hold the same position, can hold any point of power, and, you know, just continue on. Like, I'm a big fan of Zen Buddhism or Chan Buddhism, and, you know, they can hold their power, their own portion of power and whatnot. Men and women are equal, and that's the thing. We're equal, we're human. I don't want to sound like I'm yelling at you, because if you're watching this video, you're either really steamed at me right now, or you agree with me. Or if you have an argument, I will argue right back with you. I'll state my point more clearly if it's more thought out. Um, but the point I'm saying, we are equal in our own rights. Yeah, men have a higher upper body strength. Women have a higher brain capacity. I mean, that's the thing. You know? We adapt in our own way. Women have their tricks that they can do to men that can control men like nobody's business. I'm not joking. I'm not sexualizing women. Okay? But let's talk about the enchanter trope or enchantress trope. A wink, a smile, a hair flick can do a lot to a man. Trust me, I see it a lot. You know, the look. I mean, Every mother knows the look. Every woman knows the look. Before I came out, I was subject to the look many times, and a lot of exes couldn't figure out why the look didn't work on me that well. Also, a lot of females broke up with me because their words, they wanted to put the girl in the relationship, not me. But I laugh at that, actually. Like in a good way. But yeah, I'm looking through my bookshelf right now, and I'm thinking of the heroes and the characters and all that stuff. And mind you, not all of my books are um, fictional. I mean, like I have books that are fictional. I have books that are non-fictional. Heck, I have a number of books on different forms of religion through the world. And I'm just looking at the heroes and the villains of these books, thinking about, I get thinking, where did we go wrong? What was it that made us go wrong in all of this? I mean, because obviously some great books have equal views. I mean, I'm a fan of Jules Verne, you know? That's one of the books I look at just a second ago. I'm a big fan of Jules Verne. Jules Verne, I think, wrote some of the greatest works of history. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about his books. He treat all people of any nationality, any sexual orientation, any gender as equals. You know, we're talking about his books 1860s through the 1880s. I might be wrong there. Might have been 1860s to 1890s. No, his first book was 1880. Pardon me, I'm really off of my dates today. 1885 or 5 Weeks in a Balloon was the book, which I haven't gotten to 5 Weeks in a Balloon yet. I got a little too busy. I haven't finished it. But from where I'm at, you know, I could just be misreading it. But the main character's gay. I mean, we're talking about 1880s. You get this gay main character, and this manservant who's his partner, and it might just be a bromance because it's reading it. If I am, she knew how to write gay characters that weren't really gay. But 5 Weeks in Bloom, the whole story is they're going to travel, or this explorer found a way to explore the last bit of Africa that hasn't been explored. This is before the world was fully mapped. And he approaches the scientific community about this, and the scientific community agrees. Actually, this is the first part in the series, around the world in 80 days, travels to the moon and back. I forgot what the other book. Oh, Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's what it was. It's the other one. It's this travel series, and he has a term for this. Um, but in the book, the story has him where he approaches the scientific community. Scientific community says, "Yeah, go ahead, try this out. Travel, go ahead, travel. We agree with you, but you have to get your own crew." He goes home to his manservant, lover guy. Um, Burns viewed it as he loved they loved each other more than any man loved a man, more akin to that as a man loved a woman. Also referred to the main character as an eternal bachelor, which is old timey for gay. Um, if there's some twist at the end of the book that I haven't gotten to yet, I'm sorry, or if there's some love interest that I didn't know about, but the thing is, Burns didn't focus on it. You just got this touchy-feely care from the manservant to, the main character, where he goes home, tells the guy, "Hey, I'm going on this trip. I'm going to be gone for 5 weeks. That's what I'm doing." The guy says, "No, you're not. I care about you too much. I worry about you too much. No, you're not." And here's why this point is actually in my statement here. Um, this is a male character. Yeah, it's a gay male character, but still a male character. And honestly, they weren't even that flamboyantly gay. They were kind of masculine. Um, no, for Victorian dandies, but he did to the main character what you would expect any love interest in a movie to do or a book to do when the hero is about to go on some dangerous quest. No, you're not. Right away cares about him. And I think that's why I'm loving the book so much. Where I'm at so far, I will admit I'm not that far. But that's because I got tied up with other stuff, and at the same time I was trying to read the 1818 transcript of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Well, because I'm more familiar with the 1834 version, which is the one where God talk about horrible people. Another author, I'll get to that in a second. The 1834, she rewrote Frankenstein twice after the original initial one. One, she gives Victor more personality and kind of takes away from the book a little bit. The second time writing it was the 1834, which, no, just going into feminism. Feminism versus masculinization, villainizing the male. I guess I should actually cover that. 1818 version was, and I actually hunted down. I looked all for the different versions. Finally, Barnes Noble, someone knew what the heck I was talking about. Let me write two, and it was actually like $3. Um, the 1818 version was an indictment. Was part of a bet. A group of them, Lord Shelley made a bet with them. Said, whichever of you can write the scariest book wins. Bram Stoker, Mary Shelley, all this. Shelley wrote Frankenstein for it, but hidden in there, and this has been lost with us calling Frankenstein. I keep on calling Frankenstein. Usually in conversations IRL, I've been calling it the modern Prometheus, which is what it's called. Two revolutions were going on at the time: the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. She hated both. She thought man was going to destroy themselves. Humankind was going to destroy themselves at the gears of a machine and the barrel of a musket. And so her book, mind you, this is actually the first science fiction book officially. Her book started as showing the trappings of science. Not in a good way either. Victor is not a hero. Oh man. Especially when you get into the third version. If you've never read Frankenstein, it's an amazing book. If you've only seen the movies, um, if you've only seen the Universal, go out and watch the Hammer films. One, Pierre Cushing is amazing as Victor. Two, they're just amazing. And three, they capture the soullessness of Victor a lot. That was in the 1818 version. And we're talking about there's one point where he brings a girl back to life just to see if he can through a process. He even goes to court to argue this. They're trying to hold him accountable. And they're like, well, this girl died. Don't you feel remorse? No, she further science. You know, but that's why I'm saying close to this. Well, Mary Shelley's first version, I gotta point to this actually. Um, Science was the enemy. She writes as Victor is a soulless scientist who has no care for human life. In the second version, Lord Shelley is like, oh, this is fine, but we need you to humanize Victor a little bit. So she does. She actually puts a little bit of Lord Shelley's personality in there, but not too much. Now, the version most people are familiar with is the 1834, where, if you don't know the story, it's actually kind of sad. She has a kid with Lord Shelley. Now, mind you, Mary Shelley was the mistress, not the wife. She has a kid with Lord Shelley, who's mentally handicapped, and he looked at it as a curse, didn't want anything to do with them, and abandoned them. This before that, he preferred his mistress over his wife, and then just disappeared after that. Didn't even do anything. So she frantically rewrote Modern Prometheus with almost verbatim, not verbatim, wrong word, sorry, almost to cue Lord Shelley as Victor, and some of the most famous lines were taken from his hatred for his son. And like one of the lines was, I'm gonna butcher this. I know it's been a while since I've read the 1834, but it was no, you vile insect from the bowels of hell. Now referring to the monster, referring to Adam as she would call him in the readings. The monster's name is actually Adam officially. She would say that in readings, as a reference to Adam and Eve actually. Um, no reference to Adam or just the tree of Adam as a monster, or as this vile demon or this creature, not son. Even through all the abuse, Adam looked at Victor as father. And this is where I get to the um, masculinization. This is where I get to my point. She vilified the male, and she did it on purpose. Not just to target Lord Shelley, but to target males, period. Because I think it's actually a quote from her: no female could do wrong like a male. Or no female could do wrong like a father who doesn't love his son. I know I'm ruining that. I'm just 1:17 in the morning. I'm still babbling on. An hour, 6 minutes, and I'm probably not even done. But this is an older book even with the villainization of males. Arthurian legend, villainization of women. You know, we want to villainize the opposite gender is what we want to do. We want our heroes to be masculine a lot of times, yes. Which new cartoon that came out that I'm loving? It's a guilty pleasure. Shazam. I think that's the only reason it's gaining as much flack as it is because instead of being the female hero that takes on masculine aspects, it's a masculine or it's a male hero that's taking on feminine aspects. I mean, he says you go girl, waves his ring, and dons his deceased aunt's costume, superhero costume. We're talking about go-go boots and pink tights and a mini skirt, and and he fights crime in it. He does it with minimum question either, and doesn't touch on gender issues or anything like that. But it's a feminized hero, and people are complaining because this turns my kid gay. So you're more worried about a male superhero who takes on female aspects, turning your kid gay. But you're not worried about the female hero taking on male aspects, turning your little girl lesbian. And I'm not saying lesbians are all masculine. I'm not saying all gay kids are, or gay guys are feminine. I mean, quite the contrary. I've met a lot of really masculine gay guys, and I've met a lot of really feminine or lesbians. You know, and all are wonderful. Everyone's wonderful. But the fact that that's the argument, and that's what I'm getting to. That's the argument. That's the whole argument against this. Right there. That's where your complaint should be. It shouldn't be, oh, we're objectifying women, because we're objectifying men too. For every ad they show of a scantily clad female, I can name at least one where they got a scantily clad male who is ripped, oiled up, and ready to go. And we're not talking about from the 80s. I'm talking about from last month. You know, you know, and it said that caused a lot of issues with me growing up. It's like this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, I'm not into sports. I'm an intellectual. I game. I play D&D. I'm supposed to be this buff, masculine figure because I was born with a penis. You know. I'm supposed to act this way around women. I can't be, you know. I can't want to do hair. I can't want to put makeup on them, you know, or on me. And men are stuck in this view. And it's that the whole reason I bring this up, the whole reason I'm going on and on about the male side of this, is because it's ignored a lot. It's ignored a whole lot. Yes, a lot more men are in places of power, and I think part of this is because those men know how to control the tables to make it a men's club. And I don't think feminism is what's going to help it. I think it's going to take a little bit of everyone to change what I perceive the world. It's not going to be, oh, I got to change this video game this way. You know what? I play WoW, okay? You want to know the secret? You want to know the biggest secret? I play races I feel, exemplify why I feel is beauty, in some shape or form. Why do I do this? Not because that's what my ideal of beauty is. Well, it technically is, but not because I think, oh, beauty has to be this way. I mean, before you go on any tirades on this, mind you, I play Goblin. Okay, Goblin's my favorite race in World of Warcraft. I view them as beautiful. I know cartoonish proportions and green skin and stuff, but I do play them because I think they're pretty. In their own way. Yeah, I love goblins. Period. I love their attitude. I love that moxie that they have. Yes, I just use moxie as a word. You know, but that's why I play them. Yeah, I pick up a game. I want to play a hero or heroine, not just I can relate to. I got to be staring at them for half an hour. I don't know how much I heard half an hour of play at a time. All right, another good example. I play Star Trek Online. Another game I play. I love Star Trek Online. What do I do on there? Oh, I play Romlin. Romlin's my main, and I play a pretty Romlin. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I fall into the trap of playing a pretty person. Play Magic together. Here. Sorry, I'm pulling out my cards right now. Speaking of gaming and consensus, Magic is a big. Show you why I think goblins are beautiful too. As I said, I'm a big gamer. So I'm pulling card decks right now. Just kind of show you this. Because this actually works really well. One. Yes, I think that's pretty. I think that's beautiful. So, sorry, I want to get out of my system. World of Warcraft cards. My goblin character. But here, I'm going to bring up some examples. Void Sign, yay. Wave Dancer would be a good example towards the female side. To my magic deck, this might not. Or Jade Mage. Rape Whistle, Aether Eyes. Come on. Give me a non-undead male figure that's not mutating. Wow. Okay, my magic deck's a bad example. But I did pull off 4 female cards people probably are complaining about. Or could complain about. Could, not are. Like for instance, Aether Eyes. I play Aether Eyes because To me, it's kind of a joke. It's a rape whistle. It's the girl. No, my deck's theme around transmogrification kind of idea in classical D&D sense. But it's the girl who's being. I'm sorry, look at that. She's protecting herself with magic from rape. This, yeah, sexy outfit. This isn't helping my case. Yeah, that had some sexualization to it. This is just straight up slime rape. I'm sorry. But, so yeah, we see the sexualization there. Flipping through my deck, though. Finding a card that gives a. I'll show you the males I have, just as an example. Because they are the strength kind of things, but they're. The only reason I don't want to use them is like, okay. Big burly lizard dude. Yeah, that's my hybridization. I don't care what you say, it doesn't break color pie. Grim Grin. You know, big heavy male zombie. Um, Most mine are like random creatures and monsters. So, the abattoir ghoul, you know, a big burly butcher dude. You know, these are bad examples. But like you look at Garrett, before it came out, my last cosplay I did before it came out was actually Garrett Wildspeaker. You want to know how sexualized I felt then? Because here I am, literally 2 inches of fabric at one point, sewing my waist area together. If that falls, hello, you know. Uh, my wild deck's a bad example too, because everything's goblins in there. Ah, here we go. I want to talk about getting to sexualize this woman. Again, not my best case for both of us. But there you go. Look at that. Now you want to talk about sexualizing women. We're talking about card fight Vanguard here. Yet though, when you get to the stronger woman, I don't know if you can see this. I play Nova Grapplers, so now that if you can't see because my camera, closer. It's shiny and sleeve. I'm gonna take out the sleeve. The shine's too much, but it's a strong woman. It's not sexualized. It's fighting. So yeah, it's got a little bit of both. This actually got some good examples of masculinization. This is a game notorious for its feminization. I mean, in other words, sexy anime girls. But here's the thing: I can pull out quite a number of the opposite argument here. Of what a man should be. Man, this video is going on forever. I'm sorry, guys. If you've watched through all of this, through my rambling, I thank you. But we're looking at stuff like, Mr. Invincible here. Part of the reason he's in my deck because he was in the anime. 3 minutes. Hopefully he's talking about matches and nothing else. This is gonna be the weird one. Black Luger. Yes, that's just a mech. But that highlights everything masculine in it. So I guess my point is, look through my Pokemon deck, see if I can give examples. Pokemon, honestly, Pokemon's one of the best examples of one that gets it right. Yu-Gi-Oh, give or take. defensively American or Japanese. Um, but I guess what I'm trying to say to wrap this up because I don't want to go over hour 25. Um, in the end, what I'm saying is we need to look at both sides of the argument, not just are you male, are you female. We need to look at what hardships does both sides take. You know, what can we do to balance those? What can we do to work together? Not, oh, you're subjectifying women. You know, oh, you're sexualizing women. You know what? One, we're an animal. No matter what, how you want to look at it, we're an animal. Procreation, survival of species, and honestly, that's a big part of everything. So yeah, sexualization is going to do a lot. But that's not an excuse for some actions. But what we need to look at is instead of how do I want to phrase it? Instead of attacking one side or another, let's work together. Let's let's just try to be friends about it. Instead of saying screw you, my way's right, your way's wrong. What makes each person's ways each person's? Now look at that. Accept the world as is, both good and bad. Accept all things. Be the change in the world you want to be. No, right there. That's what I should say. Be the change in the world you want to be. Understand humanity is equal. You want to change the world. You want to be the change of the world. The easiest way to do it is one, be the change you want to be. Two, a smile and outstretched hand offering help. Not pointing fingers, spreading blame. You know? I guess I just went through an hour and 21 minutes. In the end, I'm going to upload a video that talks about this whole thing in maybe 5. Because I know many of you aren't going to watch through to get to this point. I know many of you are going to vilify me, not follow my tangents, not see my point. I guess that's what saddens me about this world, you know? We all have something to say, but none of us have something to listen to. We look at both sides. We look at both sides and we see each other as the enemy. We're not the enemies. You know, yin and yang, you know? I can't remember what the third one is, but there was originally 3. We're not each other's enemies. We're not supposed to be at each other's throat. We as a species need to survive. It's called survival of the species for a reason. You know, it's ingrained in every living being. I guess that's what irritates me. You know, when people put these feminist views up, or these anti-feminist views up, or bigotist views, or Christian views, or Muslim views, or Buddhist views, or anything, we forget we're not each other's enemies. Yeah, we may perceive the world differently from each other. We may perceive. We want. We want to change the world. All of us do. All of us do want the world to be a better place, unless we're completely freaking corrupt. But we want the world to be a better place. We want to live as a species. We want to survive. Acceptance is the easiest way, you know? I guess what's hurting me about this is I look at the time clock. ticking away. I look at almost an hour and a half. I've been rambling. I've been going through my hobbies. I've torn apart my own hobbies, my own loves. And I just realized, who's going to listen? You know? I mean, I'm still going to post this, and I guess this is what hurts me. Yeah. I'm sitting here in front of you, I mean, burying it, and I'm rambling, and just because it's an hour and a half of your time, and just because how my brain pattern works, how I think, just because I'm not some big name, yeah, I got something to say. But who's going to listen, Who's going to care? You're too busy fighting each other. You're too busy hating each other or arguing each other's views to listen to each other. You're going to find a lot of what you're saying is the same. Both the good and the bad. It actually makes me sick. I look at this world. I look at what we do. I look at who we are. There's a lot of potential in this world. Humanity's one of the greatest gifts ever. I mean, look at us. We we create life. We destroy life. We build. We tear down. We travel the whole globe. I mentioned 5 weeks in the balloon earlier. That was in 1880. We did not have the whole globe explored then. It's been what? Just over 130 years, 133 years? That may seem like a long time to you. It really may. But it's not. Think how old this world is, how billions of years old this world is. 130 years, 133 years. It's amazing. The computer, what I'm recording this on, the fact that I can talk to every single person in the world at once who dares listen to me for hour 30 or whatever. Global communication. The fact that you can listen to me across the world. And yet we can't listen to each other. We can't hear each other out. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, world. I don't care, feminist, misogynist, whatever. Get over yourself. And I don't know where this went from, just me wanting to happily share my side of the story to me actually going on a tirade, angry tirade. We're so selfish. We are. We do this to ourselves. Both sides of us. We blame the other. And then we hate on everyone who's different. We hate on someone who has a different view. A different way of living their life. We're too freaking lazy to sit there and listen to their opinion. Listen to their side of the argument. We would rather have the here and now. The instant gratification of the try nots. in the spoiled world, you know? Look, here's a fact about me. Many of you probably don't know. Through most of my life, you know, post childhood, my family gave me a bed. But through most of my life, my adult life, I haven't had a bed. You know, on and off, I get a bed here and there. But I would sleep on the floor, you know? I know I could afford a bed if I put all the stuff to the side. But here's the thing, I didn't want one. Actually, in high school, I would sleep on the floor too, even though I had a bed. I didn't want a bed. I had my reasons, you know? I didn't need that in my life. I could sleep on the floor and be fine. I could sleep on a couch. You know, I didn't need the bed. I didn't need this or that. You know? I mean, I walk everywhere I can. Not because I don't have a car, 'cause there's a lot of places I can go with a car with my roommate driving that I walk. If I can walk, I walk, you know? I'm patient. And do you know why I'm patient? I've had to be. You know? I grew up in a community that without even knowing about me, they call me an abomination, you know? I forgave them. I didn't argue. Not even because of fear, but because they wanted to spread love in their own way. They just weren't looking at both sides. You know, sad things, I went to the other side. You know, another church in different doctrine. Same thing, they weren't looking at the other side. They weren't looking at different side. And that's where we get wrong. We're too frickin' impatient to just hear the other person out. Or we're too stubborn in our ways. Why does a male have to be a male? Why does a male have to be masculine? And why, if they're not masculine, do they have to be feminine or not worth it? Why does a female either have to seduce, be captured, or have some masculine traits? I'm not asking you to answer me this. I'm asking you to frickin' look at it yourself. Look at what makes this. What causes this? Don't blame media. Don't. I want you honestly go back, track it back. Because media is reactory to what is actually happening. You know? Don't blame media. It's just like violence. Don't blame media. I know this video is going on long. Yeah, thank you if you watched through it. Please, please ask yourself why. I can guarantee, I can 100% guarantee the real answer is not what you think. I mean, they seldom are, you know? You want to change the world? You want to make it a better place? Be that change. Embrace wisdom, embrace knowledge. Be the change in the world. In the pursuit of ending suffering. You know? A lot of you won't know what I'm saying there. You know? Because a lot of you won't know that view, which is fine. But that's a basic human want is to end suffering. But be your change, you know? You want women to be more accepted? Accept men more. Men, if you want to be looked on as less than a physical object, and yeah, you heard me right. I know men do. I've had a friend who, a roommate at one time, who came home so sad because he felt stuck in a relationship, and the girl literally called him a penis with a wallet. I'm not joking. You know, and that's not anecdotal. That happens a lot. But what I'm saying is this, you know, both of you, men and women, atheists and Christians, shoot, I got both of you on my Facebook, and I watch both of you post your views. And you know what? Sad thing is, a lot of these arguments, a lot of this hatred between people, just be caused by us looking inside and asking ourselves why, and becoming what we want to change in the world. You know, I'm not condemning anyone. I'm not condemning you. I'm not condemning you, especially not you back there. Especially you who watched this video all the way through. I'm not preaching. I'm saying an opinion. One that I've been angry about for years. You know what? In this age, this beautiful age. You know, that's the thing. It's a beautiful age where I don't even know where to go from here. You know? What more is to say? We need to start. We need, in the Christian view, in the Bible, there is a saying, you know, and no, I was raised Adventist. No, the Bible has a saying: take the plank out of your eye before you take the speck out of the others. I butchered that. I know. It's late. I mean, I'm at almost 2 o'clock now in the morning. Listen to that. The whole world can listen to that, you know? Look at what's wrong with you before you start pointing the fingers. You know? Yeah. In my old group of friends, I used to hear slurs towards me all the time. Not towards me, but towards people like me, you know? It would hurt. It really would. And I listened to it and I was like, well, why are they saying this, you know? The world is full of hate. The world's also full of love. Here's the thing. It's not going to change until each and every one of you, I'm talking about all of you out there, start looking at themselves. The hate's not going to go away until you start looking at yourself. Why do you hate, you know? When I first came out, my roommate was uneasy about it. I asked him why. He gave a good reason. He actually did. He said, I gotta get used to a new person. I gotta get used to someone who's different. I told him, I'm not different. I'm no one else. I'm me. It feels different. It scares me. I asked him why. He's like, I don't know. The more he thought about, the more he accepted me. He's defended me a lot. I tell you what. My heart's beating right now because I'm actually physically angry. It's just at the realization of how far my words are actually going to get. I could probably throw my computer without breaking it further than these words would get. No matter how important my words are, you know? And again, that sounds narcissistic, but it's important words. You know? Be the change you want to be in the world. And the easiest way to end suffering is a smile, outreached hand, offering help, you know? Stop blaming each other and start asking why you are. You know, why do men blame women? Why do women blame men? Why can't you two get together and get along? I went way over my time. I was expecting an hour when I first started this. You know what? Every word needs to be said. How I said it. So I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully next time I put a video out, you will listen, or not listen, but you'll watch it. Because it's going to be something completely esoteric and completely non-ranty and completely, you know, about gaming or something, you know. Or maybe how my life as a trans woman is going. But this was an issue I had to get off my back. Thank you.